Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Tuesday reset video. I am your Destiny Dad, and I hope you all have had a good week so far. As you can see, this week, Iron Banner has returned. I do like to check out roles since the roles changed, but I'm pretty sure I collected all of mine. Yeah. I apologize, I usually try and wait. I think there was a good Tinashe's last time. Or I miscalculated and thought that there was another round of banner. Or wasn't another round, rather. But anyways, let's go and see what Mr. Banshee has this week. Starting us off, we have the Nox Perennial 5. And on this, we have Elemental Capacitor, Loose Change. Forgive me, I'm also pulling up his inventory on my other screen through DIM. Camera Compensator and Liquid Coils with the Handling Masterwork. Another time where there's a really solid weapon, but it's a mix of PvE and PvP perks. So, PvP, PvE, PvP, PvE. I guess you could go extended projection if you did want to use this in PvP. I guess you could make a play for it. I don't think this thing has like a crazy PvP role to my knowledge. Oh, well, yeah, left column can get under pressure. Yeah, never mind. It can be like super crazy actually. Yeah. I would pass on this personally. It's actually a really solid fusion. I have a couple rolls of it, I believe, kicking around, but it can roll a lot better than that. Up next, we have the Enigma with Kill Clip and Subsistence. I don't believe any other glaive can get Kill Clip, but don't quote me on that. God, I'm trying to remember. I don't recall seeing any other glaive with Kill Clip. That being said, I don't believe Kill Clip will benefit your melee ability and like attack on a glaive, which is kind of a bit of a loss in my opinion. I think Bungie should stop being afraid of glaives being good and just give us perks that boost our melee damage. I think that'd be fun. That being said, overall, this is not a terrible roll. But Subsistence and Kill Clip do not synergize very well. All that being said, the Enigma is one of the first craftable weapons you get, or at least used to be, when crafting was first introduced. So, you can most definitely go and craft this whenever you like. Up next, we have the Tarantula. Actually a decent roll for PvP. Once again, if you use linear fusion rifles in PvP or psychopath, I don't care what you say, but this is actually a really solid roll. Snapshot, firmly planted, liquid coils, charge time, and poly or small bore. Very nice, honestly. Yeah, if you're somebody who uses them or wants to try to use them in PvP, perfect case to pick one up. Up next, we have the Retrofit Escapade. Very strong machine gun. One of the best archetypes, one of the best pools of perks. This was the first time that a machine gun came into the meta. This was just before Witch Queen, I believe. Or no, this is just before Lightfall. Yeah, machine guns had not been in the meta at all for a long time before this, and this kind of came and shook it up a bunch. Target lock is really strong on this, but it's not as strong as it could be without a mag boosting perk, and Feeding Frenzy frankly just is not it. So I would have to say pass on this roll. That being said, this can be crafted. Extended mag, 4th time's the charm, arrowhead break maybe, target lock, and then like stability masterwork, and definitely going ambush. This thing can be an absolute beast. Huscow. my old favorite that kind of sucks now. The roll on it, as per usual, is kind of bad. Is this one that doesn't? No, this one has impact casing. Yeah. In terms of PvP, or PvE rather, the best you're gonna get is like Field Prep Cluster, which is not very good. In terms of PvP, you can get tracking, you can get snapshot, and then in the right column you can get rangefinder and quick draw. So with that being said, this is definitely not the play. And last but not least, at Banshee this week, we have the Hollow Denial. I've talked about it before, I'll say it again. This is one of the best trace rifles in game. And if you're one of those people who says trace rifles suck, you just don't use trace rifles. Anytime we have any activity, anytime there's a day one dungeon, 90% of people that solo dungeons, master mode, contest mode, trace rifles are everywhere in those activities. And it's the people that are like running doing nightfalls, or running playing strikes, or doing exotic missions, or even doing PvP. And they're the people that say the loudest that trace rifles suck. Trace rifles don't suck. They just have a specific area in which they shine. They don't shine in Grandmasters typically. Most of them don't have too much going on by way of PvP. But if you get it in the right, that sort of sweet spot where it's not like a Grandmaster where everything doesn't one-shot you, but it's also not on-level content like just a regular strike, but things like the Rite of the Nine. I've been using so many trace rifles for Rites. For my dungeon clears, for like you name it, and not even just like exotics, because I've been using Cold Heart and Divinity on my Warlock and Titan. But like, trace rifles are phenomenal. If you think they're not, you are mistaken. Please grab this. Even this roll, which is not fantastic, because it has killing tally and like decent range and stability, this thing will put in work. It can be crafted, and you can get, I believe, lead from gold and killing tally. So be sure to grab this and craft it if you don't have it. If I had told you to pick one thing up this week, it would be the Hollow Denial, because Hollow Denial is an absolute monster of a weapon. For anybody who cares, your weapon foundries for today and tomorrow, I believe, if I remember how that works right, are Viced and Amlan. And with that being said, let's go and see what the lovely 801 has for us this week. Alrighty, this week, Pergusian Knight. Normally I don't start off with shaders, but that caught my eye, so let's go ahead and start here. Pergusian Knight, fantastic shader, very, very rare, even when it was out. This came from the Scourge of the Past raid, and you only could get it on curated weapons. And when it dropped on a curated weapon, you then had to dismantle it and hope you got lucky, because it would only drop occasionally when you dismantled a curated weapon. Very rare back in the day, very rare even still now, and definitely worth a pick if you like it, or if you just collect. Up next we have New Pacific Sync, Worn. And I would love to give you a preview of this shader. But it doesn't seem that Bungie wants me to. Kinda silly, I think. But this is one of the old ones from Titan and War Cult Rain. I'm not a big yellow guy personally, but there are a lot of people who like it. And in terms of yellow, the War Cult shaders always had like a nice cut shade of yellow in them, in my opinion. So if you like that, you find it interesting at all, lots of navy, splashes of yellow, little touch of red here and there. If you're interested in it, go grab that, check that out, see if it's anything that you want or have. As always, It has your synthesis bounties. Be sure to grab those if you can. And upgrade modules. But for the armor this week on our Warlock, we have the Tesseract Trace set. For your arms, you have base 54 with a 18 spike in Recov and 20 spike in Intellect. That's a really low piece of armor, but those spikes are actually something to look at. Again, plug a build that you're trying to build into Din, into D2 Armor Picker, into whatever your preferred platform is. See if this thing pops up. Just make sure that you have it so that it will include shop items in your search filters. If it pops up, grab it. It might just work for you. The chest piece, 53, 17 Recov, 14 Intellect, 12 Strength. This one's a little bit worse. It's worse enough that I would say yes maybe to this one and no to that one. For your helmet, you've got a base of 51 with no real crazy spikes. And then your legs are a base of 52 with even less real spikes. There's one and it's in mobility. So out of all the armor on the Warlock this week, I would say the only one worth a shot at is the arms. But as always, if a piece of armor is bad, but it makes your build work, it's not bad. It's useful. Now, with all of that being said, let me reach over to my dim here, and let me see if we can't see what armor looks like on our Titan and Hunter. So for the Titan this week, we have the Terra Concord set. Have we updated? No, we have not. Here we go. Arms are a base of 52, a resilience and discipline spike. Reasonable, but nothing crazy. Chest is a base of 53, no really great spikes. Helmet has a base of 56, which I believe is the highest armor piece so far. And it has 16 resilience and 16 strength, and a handful of other perks, or stats rather, scattered throughout. The helmet's looking pretty reasonable. And then your legs are 52 base with 16 recov and 15 strength. Helmet and legs look somewhat reasonable. Definitely check those out on the stat sorting tools that we have available to us. Lastly, for the Hunter, we have Icarus, a Drifter set. The arms are a base 51. No really fantastic spikes. The chest is a base 50. It does have 16 mobility and 18 discipline, perhaps for a grenade build. The helmet is 56 with 16 recov and 15 strength, nearly identical to the Titan actually. And our legs are a flat 50 with 18 intellect and not much else. Yep, I'd say the armor is pretty rough this week. You got one or two pieces that might slot into a build here and there. But beyond that, I would say probably skip most of it. Unless, of course, you want it for cosmetics. Definitely grab a couple of those shaders. Definitely grab a few of the weapons from Banshee if you missed them or just don't have them. And with all that being said, I have been your Destiny Dad. Thank you for watching to all those who watched this far. If you're new around here, or if you have not done it yet for whatever reason, please consider subscribing. Help support me, help support the channel, and lets me know that you want me to keep making these kinds of videos. And if you enjoyed the video, found something useful, be sure to leave a like, so I also know that you're enjoying. All that being said, I appreciate all of you very much. I hope you have a great week. I hope you enjoy your Rites of the Nine and Iron Banner, and I will see you all next time. Have a good week, Guardians.